Hello and welcome to another episode of Strange Origins Podcast, episode 22. I'm
Yes,
joined
22,
again
22.
by
Rodney.
Rodney now. He's going to have a different Rod every episode. Yeah, but I thought
uh,
we start off with the pizza debate that we forgot last week.
yes, please, yes,
I said
please.
on my Instagram that I was going to include it in the episode, and I just forgot. I don't know what we were just wrapped up in the conversation about chicken
Yeah,
nuggets and stuff. but yeah, so I basically ran a poll on my Instagram to see out of the big three, what is your favorite pizza place? Basically, I wanted to see who thought what and where people stand with it because
yeah,
no one seems to agree. At least me and Rod don't agree on these things. But I want to see what people said, and apparently I gave them the option. I was like Papa John's, Pizza Hut, Domino's, and half of the people that responded said Pizza Hut, half the people that responded said Domino's, and no one said Papa John's. But I don't know. What do you think about it? For me, I think I spoke to at least a couple of them, and most of them said like actually I think three of the people I spoke to said that they've never had Papa John's,
yeah.
and I know you haven't, right?
I have.
You haven't had the sauce. That's what we were talking about.
Nah, yeah, no, they're the source. They're the
Yeah.
source.
So it seems to be for most people it's between Papa John's or Domino's.
You
Like,
probably
what do you think?
no, it was in
Oh,
it.
sorry, Domino's and
Pizza
Pizza Hut.
Hut.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah, Pizza Hut.
I'm tired today.
Yeah, personally, I don't agree with Domino's.
Yeah. So
Like,
it's the for me it's the dusty crust, but
and
I don't know.
I guess half, so in the middle, Papa John's maybe not a thing anymore. I guess.
Yeah, I know they just got completely disregarded, and I thought it's a bit unfair.
Yeah,
Especially when I've looked at the dough ingredients. I've said this to you before. That it's just
yeah,
fresh ingredients for Papa John's, and then Domino's and Pizza Hut's like chemicals. And I'm like, you damn sheep, you all love
I,
those chemicals.
yeah. I guess I guess you could say it's agree to disagree, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
I mean, Pizza
Like, you
Hut is
can't.
for me quite greasy and oily, but sometimes you just want a bit of fat grease. So,
Not my pizza boy.
but yeah, no, the results were I think out of was it 12? I think it was six people
Yeah,
said Pizza Hut, and then six
Domino's.
people said Domino's, and
See.
no one said Papa John, and it wasn't even a factor. So, I guess we have our debate. Maybe I'll hold another one in a couple of weeks' time with just Pizza Hut and Domino's and see if more people say anything.
Oh,
But
okay.
yeah. Yeah, the only other thing, I think the other thing we were going to talk about as well was, if anyone doesn't know, there's an actress on Mandalorian called Gina Carino, I think, or Carano,
Rhino.
Carano,
Yep.
and she's not like she's a main cast, I would say. She's not a main character, but
She's likable.
yeah, and
She's one of those likable ones.
she's the one that came, recurring character. I think they were gonna have her own
TV series.
yeah, spin-off, right?
Yeah.
But she said some controversial things on Twitter, and then it's brought up this whole debate again about cancel culture, and she's actually been fired now from that show, and
Mm.
Disney put out a thing. It was she is not allowed to work on any Disney programs anymore, no Marvel, nothing,
Oh,
obviously,
oh,
or
Lucasfilms. Yeah.
Lucasfilms, and that includes everything, Fox, everything. So you don't want to piss off Disney. No, Mickey Mouse will fuck you
Yeah.
up.
And what's funny as well is like even her talent agency dropped her as well
Really?
because yeah,
Mm.
they dropped her after the I think they've been trying to fire her for like almost 2 months now,
Mm.
and this was pretty much like the icing on the cake, to be honest.
Yeah, and so obviously if people don't know about it, but the thing she said on Twitter, apparently she's been doing it for a couple of months. It hasn't just been oh, she said one thing and that was it. But
Yeah.
basically, what she said recently was, obviously this is triggering to people if they sensitive, but yeah, Jews were being beaten in the streets not by Nazi soldiers but by their neighbors, even by children. Because history is edited, most people today don't realize that to get to the point where Nazi soldiers could easily round up the thousands of Jews, the government first made their own neighbors hate them simply for being Jews. How is that any different from hating someone for their political views? Now, and then she posted a picture of Jewish people getting beaten in black and white,
Yeah.
and it was just kind of gruesome. I kind it was a bit much, to
Yeah.
compare Republicans, and she's a Republican, so she's talking about that. But to compare Republicans to Jewish people being beaten in the
The
streets
hot.
and the Holocaust, it's
Yeah. it's such a weird reference. It's such
Bitch,
a
like you tripping? Like what the
yeah,
fuck?
exactly. Like I get where she's coming from, but it's like it's such a stupid example.
It's like it's like
And
I don't know if you've ever had these arguments with these people. Like there are people like that, and she sounds exactly like it to me. But it's like
mm,
people where if you have an argument with them, you would say one thing. You'd be like, well, I prefer like oranges to bananas, and they go,
yeah,
well, what if a banana murdered your entire family? And it's like, what? Like it's like that kind of argument they used to do. I used to do it when I was really young, like when I was like 14,
yeah,
13. And it's like sensationalist extreme arguments for the argument's sake, and it's sort of like that's what she's doing here. Is that it's like what? How's that any different from hating someone for their political view? Do you know what you could have done?
mm.
You could have just said the bit at the beginning, like was
And then
like oh yeah, you shouldn't hate someone for their political opinion, and they could be supporting and of all these rights, and then that's it.
yeah,
Instead, she went on this fucking like paragraph tirade about how Jewish people were beaten by their own people. Like
yeah,
it's like, what are you talking about?
exactly.
Like
And do you know the funny thing is, it's like, what is it? It's not even her to post it. It's like one of those Instagram, not Instagram, yeah, Instagram posts that you
yeah,
basically like copy and paste. So it's not even her thing. It's like someone else's. So it's like one of
yeah,
those how you say, like those
like a repost thing.
yeah, like a repost thing. And those
Yeah,
those pages that just like thinks everything's edited, everything's fake. That's why and
don't believe anything.
it's
Don't
really,
believe the
yeah,
lies.
it really annoys me. It really annoys me.
Because like I mean, she single handedly like swept her own legs out like of her career, like
Yeah.
by doing this. Because like this isn't even the first thing she said. And
Mm.
again, I actually like. I kind of get where she's coming from with the last section, obviously. Like
Do you?
it's literally the point where she's like, you shouldn't hate someone for their political views, and I agree with that because America is quite extreme, and I see it happening in this country as well now, where
See.
if you're a conservative or you're a Labour supporter, you're instantly hated if you're one or the other, and it's
Yeah.
like I don't agree with that. Like the idea of it is you're meant to be able to talk to each other and find middle ground. Like the
Mm.
entire House of Commons isn't just made up of one party. There's a
See.
majority, but they have to have the other side usually to debate. Like if you was just hate them just because you're Labour, you wanna give all our money and be communist. It's like no. You don't want to be socialist. It's not about that. And the other one is like you're just a capitalist through and through. You want to take all my money and give it to the rich. It's like we don't have to deal with extremes, people. Like
Yeah.
and that's what's happened with her.
Mm.
You know
Like we don't have to agree on like everything they stand for. We agreed on
exactly,
some, but
exactly.
not
So if you're a
everything.
Republican, I mean, if you were a Republican during Trump, fair enough.
Yeah.
You could be hated because
Yeah.
that man was an idiot. But like, if
Good
you
point.
were a Republican before him,
Mm.
I could kind of understand it because people get fed up with the way the system is being run, and they
Yeah.
need to change it. Like it needs to change every once in a while. But like, and I agree with her that you shouldn't hate someone for their political views unless they start being hateful.
Yeah.
All right, like unless they
Totally.
start
Totally
like
agree.
going like, oh, I support this man even though he's a misogynist, or I support this woman because even though she's against trans rights. You shouldn't do
Mm.
that, right? That's where it starts becoming stupid. But
Yeah.
hating, if you was to just be introduced to someone and you go, oh yeah, I'm a Republican, and you go, I don't like you, don't talk to me. Like, I get it. You're gonna have these like prerequisites. You're gonna think like, oh shit, like did
Yeah.
they vote for Trump? Like did they do all this? Like,
Mm.
but you don't just instantly stop communication because that's where it breaks down, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
But it kind of gives that like debate, like like you're trying to like argue which point is banned, all this stuff, and then always, like, as you said, trying to find that middle ground.
yeah. And then like
Like you don't
she
have to agree on everything.
exactly, and for her, that's what's the point which she was trying to make. But she did it in the most stupid, backwards
Yeah.
way by comparing it to the Holocaust and Nazi soldiers, and it was like, what are you talking about?
Saying that it's fake. It's
Yeah,
been edited.
at,
Oh, come on.
at the end of the day, lady, you're an American who, just not be around the bush, join the war late, like, and also still have Nazis quite prevalent in your country.
Yeah.
So I
Exactly.
wouldn't really be like trying to use the Nazi card when you're a Republican because a lot of the Nazis that are around there are Republican. So maybe you
Facts.
should try and like deal with that problem before you start using that comparison.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Ah.
and she's not wrong. Like I think there's a famous German quote,
Mm.
which was about Nazi Germany, and then it's basically where he goes, people seem to forget that the first country that Nazi Germany invaded was Germany, and I think
Mm.
that's a really like powerful like quote because of like it's true, like they lost their own country before they started taking over others. Like
Yeah.
they converted, as she said, like neighbors and all that stuff, and to hate one another. But then again, like at that point, I get where she's coming from, but it's nowhere near on the same level. It's
No,
nowhere near. Fucking hell, man! Like,
it's
and
bad.
that's not even the only thing she said. So like she said other things about like Black Lives Matter. She's she's
That
always
trans.
yeah, like
Well.
she's also said stuff about trans rights. Like she changed her pronouns on her Twitter thing to beep, pop, and boop or something like that. And it's like all of her explanations behind it are stuff like, I got bullied into having to change my pronouns when I didn't want to.
Yeah.
And she's always got like a single thread of like logic, and it makes sense, but her actions after that completely disregard and undermine her.
It's like, yeah, you don't have to follow. Like, in a way, you're calling them bullies, but you're then submitting to them by putting a fucking pronoun in your thing.
Offensive things as well.
Yeah, and the first pronoun. So you basically played into their hand.
Yeah,
and
so
it's just like
you lose all credibility when you do that.
exactly what you could have done is just stayed quiet and
Yeah.
just left it. That's it.
She literally just could have said like, do you know what? I don't want to be bullied into it.
Yeah.
I support like trans rights, and I don't have a problem with them, but at the moment I don't feel comfortable changing my pronouns or or putting pronouns rather in my profile. Done. End of conversation. And if you get backlash for it, trust me, you're gonna get like more backlash if you put beep, bop, and boop.
Exactly.
Like dumb idiot.
Exactly.
But then it goes on to that conversation, like what I wanted to talk to you about as well, about cancel culture.
See.
So like now she's gone. Like that's it. She ain't working for Disney anymore. Like she's out of that. They're probably gonna say she died off screen or something like that. That's it. Done. She's out of that role, or they might just recast her, which is apparently more offensive to do. Like to the actress, who's just like,
yeah,
your character is now just gonna be recast.
Like
I don't know, like
CG'd up or something.
This is what, because then I asked you a question as well before of like, if I was to say what she said about the Nazi Germany thing on my Instagram, would I be fired from my workplace? Like that's the thing. Like,
word for word.
Let's just say I was a supermarket like attendant or something. Would I be fired if I put up exactly what she said on my Instagram story? Like, I wouldn't, right? It's
it's a fine line. It's because what she said was a bit extreme. Like the reference was a bit extreme. But if she just put the last bit of her tweet, that's it. I think you'd be fine. But it's the fact that she compared it.
Yeah, and
I
think
Holocaust
like this
and everything.
is the thing as well. Is that you need to like, if you're an actress or something, you need to realize that you have a public image. You have
power.
Yeah, and
people
listen to you. I mean, you're on a Disney show at the end of the day. Then Star Wars is meant to be aimed at kids. Like, so kids are listening to you as well. So they can't have, I guess, a conservative like view, like that much of a conservative view out there. But that's the thing, isn't it? Because like for normal people, air quotes. If I was to put that on my Instagram and my boss saw it, I don't think he would. I don't think he or she would care, right? Because we're not in a public image.
I get it, but I think at the same time, the one thing that's getting to me is the reference. That's it.
But that being said, I have seen like at places I've worked at, if you do you're not allowed to go to the pub or anything like that in your uniform. Because you would bring a bad image to them, and they could potentially fire you for that. So like, maybe there is some accountability. Maybe like if you were normal, again air quotes, like you would get fired for that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like it's something that it's difficult, and we obviously forgot to mention that she got warned beforehand. Like she's been
3 times.
Yeah, she's been doing this for like 3 or 4 months, or probably longer, and. They warned her, and they warned her, and they warned her, and now they've just finally done it. Because it does say here, while Lucasfilms confirmed Wednesday that she was not working on The Mandalorian, sources told the Hollywood Reporter that they'd been gunning for her for months. Now, I don't agree, and I also don't I don't believe much about that when it says sources have told us, like whatever. I don't believe you. There's the era of like Trump and the fake news that went around and all that stuff, like. No, I'm not. I'm sorry. You need to tell me where you heard that from. Like you can't just say sources told me.
Give me the person, give me his address,
Yeah.
give me the source, bro. Like,
It's like, oh, source. Trust me, bro. That was my
that,
source. It's just trust me, bro.
I could say source and just be like, hey, Trump is
Oh,
something,
don't
whatever.
people
Boom.
use that all the time. You know, studies have shown that it's like that's what you got to do. You just have to say that, and people will believe you.
You gotta sound posh. Studies
Yeah,
have shown
yeah. And they
that.
go, oh, which studies? And you go, medical ones.
You go quiet.
Yeah. Oh, can you give me the link to that? That's what I usually do. So can you give me
Oh
the link to the study?
god.
And they go, oh yeah, well I don't know if I can find it again. I'm like, well, it doesn't really matter then, does it?
I read it a long time ago. And it's like I
It's
came
like,
across it at some point.
it's like, damn, your memory must be good. You remember it word for word, but you don't remember the title. Crazy. I don't know. Like it's a bit I don't know. It's a bit weird that part,
Yeah.
but
I think personally, I think Disney was right to fire her just because of the months of like
I think
constant,
so. Yeah.
and also like the reference that woman was enough, and also like being the trans thing. I get she supports trans, but
But then we have the
you
flip
you,
side,
you
right?
played it.
I've seen a lot of people saying this. Like, what if we lived in a Republican society, and a Democrat started saying like, well, why are we not supporting gay rights and trans rights? Would they? And then they just fired them. Right? It's kind of like I kind of see where you're coming from, like a little bit, but the difference
Yeah.
is the Democratic side is clearly right. Like
Mm.
supporting like gay rights and trans rights is clearly the right move for our generation.
Yeah.
So this isn't a fight you want to fight,
Yeah.
you know.
Especially like when your whole career depends on it, on you acting.
Yeah,
Like,
there's a fine line between like saying, "Oh, I'm not allowed to speak because I'll lose my job," and saying like, "I'm a racist." Do you know what I mean? So it's like,
yeah.
yeah,
I, I,
maybe
I
maybe
think I think
don't.
yeah, I think what they should do is like they like who's our friend? Was it? I'm not gonna mention name, but it's like I think I have a friend that said that like rereads everything before he sends it.
Yeah,
That's why it takes them long. I think that's what they should do with like some people like this.
yeah, and at the end of the
Reread it.
day, why do you want your opinion out there in the first place? Like,
Mm.
because I think she said, what was it? She said it was like the Gina whatever her fucking name is. Like she said like, if you don't speak out about your opinions, then you're basically saying your opinion doesn't matter. And I don't agree with that at all.
Oh yeah, with the whole religion thing. With the whole religion
Yeah,
thing.
I don't agree with that at all.
Yeah.
I think like if you don't say your opinion because it's going to offend somebody else, you're just being a good human being. At the end of the
Yeah.
day, like, if you have a bad opinion and trust it's like a hot take about something, you don't have to fucking tell the world. And that's something that Twitter and
Exactly.
Facebook and Instagram has done nowadays. It's like I'm gonna say what's on my mind because I know people want to hear it. Not really.
Yeah, and like don't get me wrong, you have every right to do that, but it's like you have to think about like the consequences after.
Yeah, you have every right
You,
to say your
you,
opinion, but
yeah,
then everyone else has the right to say that you're an
yeah,
idiot.
so don't feel offended by it when
Yeah,
you
right.
get a backlash. So
And we should say as well that she's responded recently by saying that she will not silence her voice and she won't be silenced. And, there's plenty more basically where that came from.
yeah,
Like,
I think she tweeted like this is just the beginning. Welcome to the rebellion.
yeah, which is quite funny because this is going to blow over in like 2 months and she's not going to be heard of again.
Yeah,
So,
that's the sad part. It says she might be gone back to like MMA again. Who knows?
yeah, like, I
Who
think,
knows?
yeah, she was on MMA, wasn't she? She was a
She
fighter
was a
on there.
good fighter. She's a good fighter. I don't know why
How
she
did
left
she
again.
how did she make that transition to MMA to like Hollywood
I,
actress?
I think she was like one of the stunts or something,
Oh,
and
really?
then she got a solo film, and I think that's when she blew. I think she blew up after Deadpool. I think because before that she was
Ah,
doing like, in my opinion, odd jobs here and there in the acting industry.
yeah.
But I think after Deadpool, I think she definitely blew up.
Because I saw
Uh,
I saw her on Mandalorian. And I was just like, she looks really familiar. Like, where have
yeah,
I seen her before? And like, I couldn't place her. And then I was like,
yeah.
literally only until recently, they were like, oh, former MMA. I was like, that's where it is. Like, I remember that. Like, Jesus Christ. But speaking of like
Nah.
stupid people, did you hear about the Gorilla Girl, the Gorilla
Oh
Glue
my
Girl?
god.
Oh my god.
I'm getting fed up with these people. Part of me think it's she knows what she was doing, so she did it for clout, in
Yeah,
my opinion.
but
And
like
also another thing
any
is like it's like she's just doing it for like sort of So the company pays basically pay her to stop giving us bad names, bad rep.
For anyone who doesn't know, I mean, if you've been living under a rock, there was a girl who
God.
put Gorilla Glue on her hair. I don't know what it was for. What was it? It was because she thought it was like her hair gel or something, or hairspray.
Yeah, hairspray.
So I don't know how you get mistake glue for spray, but or it was maybe it was the glue to hold down her hair, wasn't it?
Yeah, so it's basically a hairspray type.
Yeah, and it was she was like, oh, I'm pretty sure in the video she was like, oh, I've run out of this one, so I'm gonna use this instead. And then surprise Pikachu face when she smacks her head and it's rock hard.
It sounds like a helmet.
And it sounds like she's got a helmet on, and it's it won't come off. And she's like, I washed it 7 times and it won't come off. And it's like, well, yeah, it's glue. Are you okay?
Exactly. I use that to glue my house together, bro. With nails and shit. That's the support of it.
It's
it's that tough.
You've got to obviously sort of vet all of these now. You're did she literally just do this so she'd become internet famous for a couple of days? Because we're talking about it. Yeah. And it's it worked.
The news. I think Gorilla Glue Company reached out to her saying that they're gonna try and help her.
Yeah, and then she turns around and she's like, I'm gonna try and sue you.
Yeah, well, how are you gonna win this lawsuit? I'm confused here.
It's
how are you gonna win
this?
Judge,
the glue, it was too strong, and it's it did its job. I don't understand. It done exactly what it said on the tin. I don't get it.
Yeah, and it's you're gonna try and sue them for something you stupidly did. I don't know, for clout. For me personally, I think it's for the clout.
Yeah, she definitely did that to become internet famous. So come on.
Yeah.
Apparently, she's had a go at people that are saying that it was because of that. But isn't she a nurse as well or something?
I'm pretty sure she's a nurse.
I thought she works in a medical industry.
I thought she was a student.
Oh no, she's a teacher. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, she's a teacher, and it's just you teach kids. She teaches for 4 years, or something like that. And it's you're just gonna completely destroy their when they're 40-year-olds, they're gonna just be start gluing their houses together and be huh.
You should have been fired. You should be fired.
It's terrible. I don't know what she thought was gonna happen, but it's the end of that. Yeah.
I don't want to talk about
it. I don't know. She's trying to sue them, get money out of it. But I think she got free surgery, didn't she?
Yeah, she got free surgery. Yeah.
Yeah, to get it removed, but I'm not sure how you do that or how you remove it.
I think I saw someone say you need an aloe vera and then some sort of hair removal, nail polish or something like that.
Did she keep her hair?
She had a bit of hair. She had a bit of hair. Yeah, I think I'm not gonna be real. I think the rest of her hair was extensions, but then some of it is still her natural hair, but it's pretty short hair.
If it's pretty short hair, can't you just cut it off?
That's what I'm saying. You could have shaved it all off.
But no, just get free surgery. It's fine.
Easy money, baby.
Pretty much. And I think we were talking about that before. Is why Americans like to sue. A lot is because they have to pay for medical bills, and I always forget that. It's they're always trying to sue somebody. That's why there's so many lawyers in America.
Yeah.
They can't afford the medical bills, man. They have to. They have to find some way. So they just end up going you know what, I'm gonna sue you. And usually the company will be look, we don't go through the whole legal process, so here's $20,000. And it's just fucking hell, man.
Oh god.
I'm so glad we don't have that in our country.
And the funny thing is, it's apparently someone started a GoFundMe as well for the medical bills. Yeah, for the medical bills.
Oh my god.
And she reached 20K.
Jesus, who's giving money to this?
I know, right?
Can I just start one and be help me get a new PC? $2,000, just be because I see it on Twitch chats all the time where somebody just donates 400 quid to somebody.
That for me is a bit too extreme. Way extreme.
I'm just how? And they're just had this cash lying about, just thought I'd make my favorite streamer happy. It's
nonchalant.
Yeah. I'm
but then you have other streamers who are literally not even saying themselves that they're demanding to be fucking subscribed or how is...
I mean if it works then I would do that.
Yeah. But it's just the way they're saying it. It's
everybody,
oh my god,
everybody listening now, fucking subscribe. That's what I just have to do.
Yeah, it's like the way no, but the way they're doing it is like, oh my god, like how can you sit here for 5 hours and not donate to
To
me?
be fair, I've only seen a couple say that.
And it's like it's so ratty. It's so
Hmm.
disgusting, man. It's like, ugh.
Like,
You're gonna stoop down this low?
yeah, I know. Like, I mean, what was it? Streamers like Ninja and stuff like that. They earn so much money, like a month.
Yeah,
But then
yeah.
at the end
I
of the
think
day,
that
like I kind of feel like they deserve it a little bit. They are like entertaining. Like, was it usually? It's usually like nearly 100,000 people like every day,
yeah.
and
Mm.
that's quite a lot. Like if you were to put that in terms of like in terms of
Working
TV,
hours.
like yeah, and working out. Like some of these streamers do like 8 hours a day, right, which is a normal work day. But then some of
Yeah.
them will do like 24 hours, like twenty
Yeah,
four hour
exactly.
streams. No work has ever like, and I'm talking about normal jobs, not like doctors and stuff. But no work has ever asked you to do 24-hour shift at
Exactly.
like Asda. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, and
Mm.
anyone who heard that would be like, get the fuck out of here.
And
So
when they do like these long hours of streaming, it's normally for like charity as well. So it's like,
usually, yeah, usually they're trying
mm,
to earn money for charity, and like most of the time they earn this like money, and they do like give a lot back to
mm,
like everywhere. I think like children hospitals and stuff like that, and they do
yeah.
drives and a lot of charity stuff.
Oh, speaking of that, I don't know if you heard. I think a few other people like Miskiff, Maya, and like the big like streamers and
Yeah,
stuff. They did like a charity, and I think they raised like half a mil,
damn.
half a mil, and then I think Ludwig, a famous streamer, like literally paid like 50k
Oh
just to play
Jesus.
just to play with Shroud for an hour,
Oh yeah, I
and
did
that
see that.
and all of that is going into like the charity. That's what's cool about it.
Yeah, so that
And,
and then you don't see that anywhere else. Like, I mean, most
yeah,
people who earn like loads of money, like millionaires and stuff like that, don't give their money away. So it's kind of cool that like
exactly.
these people still do that at least, you know.
Mm,
But yeah,
yeah,
I don't know. Like, all the only other thing we can say is that hopefully we will be allowed out soon, like in lockdown.
hopefully, man.
Apparently, like
Please,
I did read that the vaccine has like surpassed the number of people that have active cases
that's good.
recently, which is good.
That's
I mean, as we did speak about the other day, though, like, is that actual vaccinations or is that just the first dose? Because I don't know. Maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe it's fine even if you just get one. But
no, but
you do need two.
you need a second dose
Yeah,
to be able to say, yeah, it's this much, so
yeah.
we're fine. You can't just be
But
giving out one dose, bro.
I was thinking about it, like, I swear, like, me and you and people like our age group won't be getting the vaccine until like September-ish, right?
Yeah,
October, September. So I'll just be like, well,
gonna tuck myself into the bedroom.
yeah. I mean, should I invest in more PC parts or like, is there any
Should
point?
should I start streaming? Who
Yeah.
knows, man? You know?
God, streaming is just depressing when you're starting out because you look over and you go, ah, still 0 people watching. Cool.
It's hard,
You're just
man.
speaking
It's
to nobody.
hard. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I guess it's that grind everyone has to go through.
But recording videos for me, anyway, is easier because
Mm,
you can record it and put it out there and share it and all that stuff. With like
yeah,
streaming, you have to be watching at the time,
yeah,
and a lot of people just don't want to be there. No one has fucking time to sit down and watch someone stream. Like usually, like I know Twitch is massive, but like most of the time, for me anyway, personally, it's just a personal thing. I'll just slap on a video while I'm doing something else, and I know I
yeah.
could do that with a stream, but I feel like I'm missing live content all the time. Whereas in the series,
Mm,
I can be like, I can watch from episode 1 up to like episode 9. You
exactly
know?
the highlight reels. That's
Yeah.
just the.
Whereas on Twitch, it's like, oh, you join a guy and he's halfway through a game, and I'm like, well, I've missed everything. So what's the point?
I guess to support them, but
Yeah. But anyway,
a person. Yeah,
we're it's a little bit shorter this time, but
yeah.
thanks everyone for listening. It was a
Thank you, thank you, thank
slow
you.
week, but in terms of
Very
news,
slowly.
but like hopefully next week something will happen. I don't know. I don't know. Touch wood. I don't really want something big to happen. I'm like, oh fuck. I'm sorry if it
Me to
does.
come out of nowhere.
Yeah. We just discover aliens or something.
Oh, jeez. Wouldn't be
But yeah.
surprised, to be honest.
Thanks for joining and like, subscribe, all that crap.
Thank you.
Thanks. See ya.
Thank you.